Oh, baby. Back again for another video. About to go live on Instagram. Stay fucking tuned here. Patching through, ready to rock and roll. Just pull up my notes and we'll be fucking set. Okay. Bear with me a second. Okay. Going live in 3, 2. Oh, let's get it. Welcome, Instagram. Hope everybody's having the best day of their motherfucking lives right now. We're about to jump on this bitch and do Unstoppable, but I'm going to let people trickle in. We'll let people trickle in and get their feet. As you guys know, I offer free virtual assessments for your fitness goals to make sure that you have what you need with your training, with your nutrition, with your mindset for every single person who comments win on these live streams. So if you're live with me right now and you don't have time to listen to the entire podcast, you got to go, you got to work, you got to work out, whatever it is that you got to do. If you type win on this podcast right now, I'm going to send you a free full virtual assessment of everything that you got going on with your with your fitness goals. All right? We're going live for Unstoppable in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unstoppable, the elite mind and body podcast for men. I'm your host, Taj Howell. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to be discussing how you need to become the bad guy. Okay? You need to become the bad guy. And what does that mean? Okay? I'm going to preface this episode with this. You are the only person who will ever consciously aim to build a better life for yourself. Okay. And you are also the only person who will ever subconsciously destroy your fucking life. You are the only person that will ever consciously aim to build a better life for yourself. And you are the only person that will ever subconsciously destroy your life. Which means that there needs to be a version of you that you create. A version of you who never sleeps in, a version of you who never takes the easy route, a version of you who always does what they're supposed to do, a version of you who doesn't give a single solitary fuck about how they feel and does every single thing they're supposed to do regardless. There needs to be a version of you who wins at everything at all times. And what I want to talk about in this episode is you creating a bad guy, you creating the ultimate villain version of you who destroys you in every single area of your life. Okay? And we're going to do that on this live stream right now. We're going to do that on this podcast right now. So grab a piece of paper, grab a motherfucking pen, and follow along with me. Okay? Here's how you're going to create your super villain, your arch nemesis, the person who comes in and destroys you in every single area. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why we're doing it at the end. I want you to just trust me and do it right now. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. Grab your pen and paper and follow along. I want you to look at your life right now from God's eyes. Okay? And I want you to build the most elite supervillain who absolutely annihilates you in every single human area. Okay? Now, you're not looking at your life from your eyes. You're looking at your life from God's eyes. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. If you're God and you're looking at you and you're looking at creating a supervillain who destroys you and everything, how would you make that person outperform you? Okay? What would you put him through? You'd probably have him training in the gym 5-6 days a week, right? You definitely have him learning how to fight, right? Whether that's boxing, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, judo, wrestling, whatever it is. You would definitely have him eating clean, right? Healthy food to make sure that he's performing at his best. You'd have him sleeping well, okay? You'd have him prioritizing his sleep. You'd have him eating probably every supplement that you could find to give him every ounce of an edge possible. And you know what you would absolutely do? You would absolutely make it so that he does not consume substances. He would not be drinking alcohol. He would not be doing cocaine. He would not be smoking weed. He wouldn't be smoking cigarettes. He would be focused on elite performance. If God created a supervillain to destroy you in every area, that's what he would do. He'd be training 6 days a week, fighting 3 days a week, proper sleep, proper nutrition, proper supplementation. He'd be an absolute animal. He'd be a warrior. The second thing you need to write is, if you're God and you're creating the supervillain, how would you make that version of you more resilient than the current version of you? You would definitely put him through pain, right? If you were God, you would put him through pain. You would put him through hardship. You would put him through heartbreak. You would put him through challenges. You would throw every single obstacle at him possible to help him develop the ability to overcome. You would give him tough breaks. You would give him a difficult life. You would not make it easy for him to achieve things. You would put him through a crucible of a life to get to the point where he matches you at your age, whether it's age 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, doesn't matter. And he's had it way harder than you, and he's had to overcome way more than you, which means he's way more resilient than you. That's the second thing that you would do. Now, remember, he's a supervillain who destroys you in every area. How would you make him richer than you? Okay, if you're God and you're making this supervillain version of you, how would you make that version of you richer than you? You would make him more intelligent. He'd be consuming information like an animal at a rate that you can't even comprehend. He'd be reading more books than you. He'd be watching more videos than you. He'd be hiring more mentors than you. He would be doing more than you. You would also make him patient, right? You would teach him how to take a second. You would teach him, as God, you would teach this version of you how to actually do things, not see results, and not quit. You would teach him how to keep working towards things and never give up. You would teach this version of you how to do stuff for the long haul without getting frustrated, without going backwards, without quitting because he doesn't see results. You would make the motherfucker patient. Okay? The other thing that you would do to make him richer than you is have a deep-seated, sickening desire to win. That's what you would do if you were God and you were making the most resilient, badass supervillain version of you who destroyed you in every area. That's what you would do. You would make him richer than you. He would outperform you. He would be more resilient than you. I'm going to add even more to this list. He would be more focused on winning the war. Okay? Winning the war as opposed to winning the battle. Okay? You got to understand something. The people who win big in life, are the people who can do stuff the longest. The people who are focused on long-term goal setting, long-term goal achievement. The people who are focused on doing things now, making sacrifices now that lead to a better future life. Not the people who are focused on momentary fun, the people who are focused on fleeting pleasure and enjoyment. If you were God creating the supervillain, you would have that person focus on long-term success, not on short-term pleasure. You would teach him how to not care about his own happiness in this moment. You would teach him on how to focus on being the best version of himself. Okay. Now here's the deal. Now that you've created this list, okay, you know what your supervillain looks like. You know what your supervillain talks like. You know how much money he has. You know what he does, the things that he does when you're sleeping. Now I want you to go back through that same list and ask yourself what you can do. Okay? Now you're taking the perspective out of looking at your life from God's eyes and creating a supervillain, and you're looking at this supervillain from your own eyes, and you're going to ask yourself, what can I do? What can I myself do to be better in these areas? So let's go back through our list right now. Check this out. Okay? In order to outperform yourself and make yourself better, you would train harder, right? You would start learning how to fight, right? You would start treating your nutrition with respect. You actually start treating your body with respect. You would put better things inside of it. You would start getting your supplementation right. You would get better sleep more consistently. You would cut out the substances. This is just outperforming. Your goal now is to outperform this elite version of you who's going to destroy you. Guys, if you look at your life and you constantly competing against a version of you that just never sleeps, and a version of you who's going to kill you in every single area, a version of you who's going to outperform you and take your house and take your money and take your business and take your girl and do all these things, you will never get tired. You will never want to quit. You will never want to lose. You will always be fighting for more. Okay, let's go to the next one. How can you, remember, we're talking about resiliency now. If you look at that list, how can you make yourself more resilient? How can you deliberately put yourself through pain? Right? How can you deliberately put yourself through hardship? How can you deliberately make things more challenging? How can you deliberately throw obstacles at yourself to make sure that you outperform them and grow and get better? How would you make yourself richer? You would, to become more intelligent, you would read more books. You would commit to watching less Netflix and watching more educational videos. You would commit to wasting less hours on YouTube and spending more hours with mentors, spending more hours on your own personal development, spending more hours learning how to become better, right? If you wanted to become the richest version of you like that villain, he has the sickening, deep-rooted desire to win. How can you develop that same sickening, deep-rooted desire to win? How can you become that dude who doesn't do anything but win every single day? How? The answer to that question lies with you. For me, it literally means that I am focused every single day. I wake up every single day at the same time. I do the same things every single day. I focus on my vision, my goals, my routines, my habits, my disciplines. I eat the same food 5 days a week. I do every single thing. I do every single thing that I'm supposed to. Okay? And you know what's funny? I've had somebody post hate comments on this live stream 2 times. Okay? Homeboys telling me to stick to the gym chat. Bro, the only reason why you see me successful, the only reason why 250,000 people follow me is because I have the mindset of a person who is consistent, disciplined, focused, hungry for success, and has the ability to stay on track regardless of how I fucking feel, regardless of if I want to or not, and regardless of if there's results or not. I posted for 8 years before any of you were on my page. I guarantee you were not here at the beginning, Mr. Jamie Watson. All right. So I want you to understand something. When I come on here and I preach the mindset shit, to the so-called shit, I'm preaching it because I know for a fact that it works. I'm preaching it because I've had 700 men go through my program and 700 men have seen success. I'm preaching it because mindset is literally everything. If you don't have mindset, you have nothing fucking else. I could give you all of the workouts in the world, but if you don't have the mindset to back it, Jamie Watson, you ain't going fucking nowhere. Okay, homie? So before you come on my live stream talking shit, I'm going to tell you, mindset is literally what gets people successful. Mindset is why you can get and stay in great shape. Mindset is why you are even on this page, because I've committed and I've posted for 10 years straight. And you guys are finally listening to me because I've stayed consistent without seeing results. I hope that makes sense. So guys, let me finish with this, okay? If you guys want me to assess your current situation, mentally, physically, training, nutrition, if you want me to assess where you're at and give you a step-by-step strategy to reach your fitness goals, your mindset goals, all of the goals that you're achieving, that you're trying to achieve, type WIN in the chat box right now, and I'm going to send you all the information that you need for me to give you a free physical assessment today. Okay, type WIN in the chat. Last thing I'm going to tell you guys is this, okay? The life that you have always wanted is on the other side of you doing what you're supposed to do. Not what you want to do, okay? What you're supposed to do. So if you know deep down that you should get in better shape, get in better shape. If you know deep down that you should be waking up earlier, then fucking wake up earlier. If you know deep down that you need to be more respectful as a person, then be more respectful as a person. If you know deep down that if you got in a fight and someone would stomp the life out of you and you wouldn't be able to protect your wife and children, then you probably need to learn to fight. So here's the deal. The life you have always wanted is on the other side of what you're supposed to do, not what you want to do. Okay? Guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, this right here is Unstoppable, episode 75. To all the haters that are still watching, I love you guys so much. Keep on watching. You keep talking. I'm going to keep winning. Everybody else who's loving this right now, I'm seeing so much fire in the chat. You guys show up. We're going to be here live 5 days a week for either Unstoppable Podcasts, Q&As, or testimonial interviews with clients that have been successful in the program. You guys are amazing. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and take care.